Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Monday evening, October 28, 2024. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video. I'd really appreciate it if you guys get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak of Atlantic hurricane season, that's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Leave a comment down below, letting me know what the weather has been like in your area recently. Also, feel free to ask any other related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so let us take a look at the U.S. National Hurricane Center's 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook. And we can see that as of their latest update that just came out at 7:20 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is actually 6:20 p.m. Jamaica time, so this just came out about 8 minutes ago. We see that they still have portions of the Caribbean highlighted for a medium chance of tropical cyclone development over the next 7 days. Medium chance meaning a code orange, which is basically just a 40% chance of development. And we see that it's definitely too close for comfort. We have Jamaica right here, Hispaniola right here, and it's expected to develop somewhere to the south of us. Let us read what the Hurricane Center just stated. They've said a broad area of low pressure is likely to form or develop over the southwestern Caribbean Sea in a few days. Gradual development is possible thereafter, and a tropical depression could form late this week or over the weekend while the system begins to drift northward or northeastward toward the central Caribbean Sea. And we see that they've given the system a 0% chance of cyclone formation within the next 48 hours, that's the next 2 days, and a 40% chance of cyclone formation within the next 7 days. And they're stating that it could either drift northward, or northeastward, maybe towards Haiti, the Dominican Republic, or Puerto Rico. Definitely interesting. We definitely have to stay updated to see exactly what unfolds. And as such, we have to stay updated with the model runs. We know that we have new model runs every 6 hours. So we have to pay close attention to what is coming out. We're going to be looking first at the latest Euro model run. Then we're going to be looking at the latest GFS. And we're going to be focusing our attention at the timestamp at the top. We're just going to be going out to the next 168 hours. That's the next 7 days. And we're going to be focusing our attention across the Caribbean where the system is expected to develop. So first, let's put these images into motion. We can see that even as we head into Tuesday, we still have a lot of moisture in and around the Greater Antilles associated with the clouds left back from that frontal system. Still expected to bring some showers as represented by the greens, the sections of Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, Haiti, Jamaica, and even eastern Cuba, spilling into portions of Central America right there. And we know that if it's not usually in the morning, especially across northern or eastern Jamaica, it's definitely during the afternoon hours that we feel all of this rainfall. And even as we head into Wednesday, we still see a lot of moisture. As we head into Thursday, look at all of the moisture to the south of Jamaica right there. As we continue to go out in time, we definitely see that it's trying to get its act together right there to the south of us. This is 144 hours out. This is by Sunday, November 3. And we see the broad area of spin right here to the south of Jamaica, the isobar as well as the area of low pressure, the moisture associated with that. And as we wrap up the 168 hours, we see it right there. Definitely a bit more moisture by that time, right there to the south east of Jamaica, to the south of Haiti for sure, by 12Z on Monday, which is actually 7 a.m. If we go out in time and look at what the GFS is forecasting, first of all, even as we head into Tuesday, we still have a lot of moisture coming into portions of the Greater Antilles, Jamaica for sure. And as we continue to go out in time, look at all of the moisture. This is Friday, 6Z on Friday. It's actually 1 a.m. and we see a lot of greens. We see dark greens, we see yellows, and we see that it all represents all of this. What we see on the key on the right, the all the way up to 4 to 5 inches of rainfall right there. Definitely gonna be a wet end of the month and early November for sure. And then as we continue to go in time, look at what's happening. The GFS trying to do some kind of a broad area of low pressure right here, especially to the north of Haiti and the Dominican Republic, as well as Puerto Rico right there. And look at that. Look at the vast differences now. This is how we have to stay updated now, because this is the latest run from the GFS. The 18th run just came out an hour ago. And look at the differences. Clearly, the GFS has not been so consistent in terms of where the system is expected to be. We see that, oh, it was over here, then it's over here, then it was over here. Now look at this. The latest run from the GFS has the broad airflow pressure. Yes, it's still situated across the Caribbean, lots of moisture, but it looks to have the center of this system somewhere to the north of maybe the Dominican Republic, to the north of Puerto Rico, to the north of the Leeward Islands. We see a lot of the moisture. It could definitely be getting shared at that point. And we're indeed grateful for that. We don't want any strong systems. We don't want any barrel-like systems to cause any power outages or internet disconnections or anything like that. So as of right now, what we're seeing in terms of consensus is definitely more, well, something more along the lines of a broad area of low pressure, bring a lot of moisture to portions of the Caribbean in general. And we see that both the Euro and the GFS accumulated precipitation forecast maps are in consensus with this. We see all of the dark reds, we see the purples, the pinks, the salmon colors, reaching all the way from the Western Caribbean into the Southern Caribbean, all the way up into the Greater Antilles, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico. And we see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus with this increase in rainfall. We know all of this is represented by what we see on the key on the right. So the main takeaway is that there's gonna be a lot more rainfall before all is said and done regarding the hurricane season, and we see a lot of the rainfall, especially across northeastern Jamaica, still to come. We see the purples, we see the pinks. Definitely gonna be some amount of flash flooding taking place, especially across sections of eastern St. Thomas, Portland, St. Mary, and St. Anne as well. And I'll definitely be here to keep you posted with what occurs. If we take a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can still see that we have that frontal system right there into portions of the southeastern United States. That other frontal system definitely stalled out and still lingering, stretching all the way from the northern portion of North Atlantic all the way down into the Greater Antilles, including eastern Cuba, Hispaniola, and Jamaica. We have a tropical wave right here to the south of Hispaniola, definitely affecting portions of Colombia and western Venezuela as we speak. Another tropical wave right here to the east of the Caribbean, definitely affecting portions of Guyana and Suriname right now. And another tropical wave right here, equidistant from the Eastern Caribbean and Africa right here. And clearly to our north, we still have that ridge of high pressure dominating that we know is responsible for sending all of the easterly trade winds. And with these easterly trade winds, lots of tropical is pushing from east to west, not to mention some of the Saharan dust from that desert. If we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the sun went down, we can make out the clouds associated with the frontal system, still affecting portions of Florida as we speak with some amount of overcast skies and isolated showers. We have the clouds associated with that other frontal system, still bring a lot of clouds, showers, and thunderstorms to portions of Puerto Rico, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, sections of Cuba, Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, sections of Belize, the Yucatan Peninsula, Guatemala, and even Honduras getting in on the mix. We can also see the clouds associated with that other tropical wave bring some rainfall to the east. Well, right there, just to the east of the Caribbean, we can see some rainfall right there, equidistant from Africa and the Eastern Caribbean associated with that other tropical wave as well. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Monday, October 28, 2024. It was stated that parts of northern Jamaica would have received some rainfall last night into Monday morning. And we know that when we're talking about northern Jamaica, we're referring to those parishes on top like Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland, And it was also predicted that we would have had some rainfall during the afternoon across sections of some eastern, central, and western parishes. I know that when we're talking about eastern parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey, like Portland, St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrew. When we're talking about central parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Middlesex, like St. Anne, St. Mary, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine. While western parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall, like St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, and Trelawney. And what ended up happening? As early as 9:20 p.m. last night, we definitely had the Cuban Doppler radar images being posted on our Twitter page. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that these posts aren't only made here on our Twitter page at Weather Jamaica, but they're also made on our Instagram page at Weather.Jamaica, on our TikTok page at Weather Jamaica, and on our Facebook page at Weather Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there as we make posts throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. So we definitely saw some light to moderate to even some heavy rainfall affecting especially the waters to the north of Jamaica. Some of this rainfall coming into portions of the land areas on the north side of the island section of Portland, St. Mary, St. Anne, Trelawney. Definitely got in on some of that rainfall last night. And then as we headed into the morning, this morning, Monday morning, the visible satellite image was posted at around 10:01 a.m. highlighting some clouds coming into portions of Portland. We definitely had some isolated showers coming in right there, affecting sections of especially eastern Portland right there. Even section of eastern St. Thomas might have been getting in on some of the isolated showers too. And then finally, as the afternoon progressed, as the day progressed into the afternoon, we can definitely see that we definitely had some clouds affecting portions of sections of some central and western parishes, mainly sections of central western parishes. Even although we definitely had some isolated showers across sections of eastern Jamaica today, more specifically sections of Portland, sections of Kingston, St. Andrew got in on some of that rainfall. But we saw during the afternoon the rainfall was definitely concentrated across sections of St. Catherine, Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, section of Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, section of St. Anne, and St. Mary. So it's not only northern Jamaica but southern Jamaica, definitely eastern, central, western parishes for sure. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of Jamaica before the sun went down, we can definitely see that flow of clouds from east to west across the island for sure. We definitely had those clouds piling up here and there across especially central and western Jamaica with the thunderstorms. Definitely some isolated pockets of thunderstorms here and there across the island. Before all was said and done with the day, didn't have any rainfall at all across eastern St. Thomas or eastern St. Andrew. Definitely had most of the rainfall across central and western parishes in Jamaica for sure. And we definitely have the infrared satellite images here to show the isolated thunderstorms. We know the thunderstorms are represented by the high code cloud tops, the blues, the greens, the yellows, oranges, reds, as well as the sparkling white dots that we know represent some amount of lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes. So we definitely had some amount of isolated thunderstorm activity, mainly across sections of some central and western parishes. Not only northern Jamaica, but even portions of some southern parishes got in on the thunderstorm activity. Even the waters to the south of St. Thomas got in on some of the thunderstorm activity too. And we definitely have confirmation from See Jamaica's YouTube channel. If you don't know by now, we have a partnership with this channel. They show live streams of the corporate area from Barbican, Halfway Tree, Crossroads, the Kingston Harbour. And I'd like for you to know that they're planning on increasing the amount of cameras that they have in and around the island. So if I were you, I'd subscribe today so that I don't miss out just in case they install a camera near me. So we can definitely see that at around 3:20 p.m. the Halfway Tree cam definitely was showing some amount of moderate rainfall. Persons walking with their umbrellas for sure, persons trying to get home in general, people in their vehicles with their windshield wipers on. Definitely some decent rainfall, more so on the moderate side than anything else. Can definitely see those big water droplets coming in from the north. Definitely persons over here, especially school children, seeking shelter as well. If we take a look at the accumulated precipitation for the past 24 hours from the CIMH, that's the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website, this map does paint quite a picture of where we had that rainfall today. mainly across central and western parishes for sure. Mainly over here, this side. Not so much across St. Thomas at all, but definitely Portland and St. Mary's, St. Anne, Trelawney, St. James, especially during the morning hours. And then especially these southern parishes during the afternoon, more so central and western parishes than anything else, just as predicted. And even although all of these rainfall totals aren't 100% accurate, it could have been less, it could have been more in some spots. We know that we're focusing mainly on where the rainfall took place, the geography of it all. And we definitely have one comment here from one of our followers on our Instagram page. We had God's Gift _ Michelle stating, rainy in Mandeville, and this was posted 1 hour ago. And if we take a look at the very latest infrared satellite image that just came out, let's see the very latest still image. This is the latest one, 23:35 UTC. Is about the same as 6:35 p.m. So this one just came out 8 minutes ago. We do see some clouds, one right here across western Portland, another one right here across coastal areas of St. James and Trelawney, and another one right here across portion of southwestern St. Elizabeth. But most of that thunderstorm is focused right here off towards the southwest of St. Elizabeth. Wherever we have the sparkling white dots, that's where we have the thunderstorm activity. So let us match it to the very latest cube and Doppler radar image. Let's reload this. That we have the very latest. And the very latest image is as of 7:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 6:40 p.m. Jamaica time. And we can actually make with that rainfall right there off the coast of St. James. Definitely some moderate to heavy rainfall right now affecting sections of Trelawney, St. James, Hanover getting in on the mix as well. We can also make out that rainfall to the southwest of St. Elizabeth, the thunderstorms, but the high cold cloud tops are being sheared off towards the northeast, just as we stated yesterday with that upper level wind shear. But most of the rainfall is off to the south of Westmoreland, to the southwest of St. Elizabeth. Right there, we can definitely make it out on the cube and Doppler radar image. We can even make out some isolated showers to the south of St. Thomas right there. Some rainfall right there to the west of the western Haitian Peninsula too. If we take a look at the very latest Guantanamo Bay Cuban Naval Radar map, we can definitely make out that rainfall that we just saw to the west of the western peninsula of Haiti. Some definite moderate to heavy rainfall for sure. Some isolated showers across Portland as we speak too, to match it to the latest infrared. So I guess that actually makes sense that we're seeing some greens across Portland right there, and we're seeing the greens in terms of the clouds as well. Regarding the Cayman radar, we can make out some isolated showers. That rainfall to the south of Westmoreland that we just saw on the satellite, as well as the cube and Doppler radar image. Some rainfall right there to the west of the island in general, passing to the south of the Cayman Islands right now. And if we take a look at the very latest Crossroads cam, let us take a look at the very latest live stream. This is as of 6:45 p.m. We can definitely see persons right here waiting on vehicles or maybe a bus or whatever the case may be. Lots of lights to light up Crossroads tonight. People walking about, going about their business. People in their vehicles going about their business. Definitely seems fair for the most part right now, and that could definitely be the case for the entire night. If we take a look at the temperatures right now, we can see that we're 26 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 27 degrees Celsius in Kingston. And by about 4 a.m. on Tuesday, temperature should dip down to about 27 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay. This looks like it's getting down a bit. It's 23 degrees Celsius in Kingston. If we take a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, this map from the GFS is valid for 18th on Tuesday when calculated. That's about 1 p.m. on Tuesday. And we can see Jamaica right here embedded in some slight orange colors that we can see by the key on the right. That represents anywhere from 1 to 2 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures. And we know the normal temperatures for the month of October across Jamaica are about 89 degrees Fahrenheit. And when 89 degrees Fahrenheit is calculated to Celsius, that's about 31.6 degrees Celsius. So considering that we're going to be receiving up to 2 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures because of these orange colors, it should be anywhere from 31 to 33 degrees Celsius at most for Jamaica's temperature on Tuesday. So try your very best to try and beat the heat. You know the drill. Checking on others, including children, elderly people with medical conditions, and pets. Dress down, wear lightweight clothing, and use sunscreen. Always seek shade when outside. If I were you and I'm walking the streets, I would definitely seek the shade under a tree or next to a building. And I cannot stress enough how important it is to always stay hydrated, especially with water throughout the day. A huge percentage of your body is made up of water, so if I were you, I put down the sugar drinks and drink water instead. If we take a look at the Saharan dust forecast for 2 p.m. on Monday, we're indeed grateful that for right now, the area right here, North America, the Bahamas, the Caribbean, South America, Central America, definitely in the clear. Even although we know, because another one of my commenters on our YouTube platform brought up a good point yesterday, that we wish we had the Saharan dust, just in case this system patty that everybody is talking about develops into a major hurricane. Maybe the Saharan dust could maybe make it struggle to develop. Yes, you know, the Saharan dust is very good for that. But we know the Saharan dust is also good for triggering a lot of respiratory illnesses, asthma, sinusitis. And for right now, at least we're indeed grateful that it's out here in the main development region and not affecting us with all of the hazy skies and triggering some respiratory illnesses in some persons. If you remember that huge plume that we had in 2020, that was ridiculous. I could definitely taste the dust in my throat for sure. Definitely a bad time in general. And the Saharan desert is definitely not short of any dust at all. It only takes one big, strong, high pressure ridge to send us a very huge plume. And that's for right now, we're seeing more lighter shades of browns than anything else. That's what we want to see. We don't want to see those darker shades of browns that can cause very hazy skies at all. And for 2 p.m. on Tuesday, Jamaica should be in the clear. If we take a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, we see that majority of the Caribbean should still be getting in on those lighter shades of blues to darker shades of blues that we can see by the key on the bottom right. That represents anywhere from 0.5 meter wave height all the way up to 1.5 meter wave height. And that's because the winds are going to be averaging anywhere from 10 to 20 knots for the most part, maybe even gusting to 25 knots, where we see these yellow spots. We know the greens definitely represent the 10 to 20 knot wind. And we see the general direction coming in from the east for the most part, all courtesy of a ridge of high pressure right here across the eastern United States. But regarding the wind forecast for Jamaica tomorrow, we definitely see that it seems like this strong northeasterly flow is over in ascent. We see more of an easterly flow on the south side, more of an east-northeasterly flow on the north side. Either way, we see that the air is going to be piling up across sections of some central and western parishes, more so southern parishes than anything else. And we know what usually takes place. Wherever we have the least amount of wind, that's where all of the low-level clouds are going to become mid-level rain clouds, if not upper-level cumulonimbus clouds. And the upper-level wind still coming in more so from the west tomorrow. So we saw it today coming in from the southwest. Tomorrow it's going to be coming in more from the west. So if we take a look back at the infrared satellite images, we can definitely see what was taking place. As a matter of fact, let's reload these images so I can show you even better what I'm referring to. Alright, so here we go. This is the latest infrared satellite images. Look at this thunderstorm cell to the southwest of St. Elizabeth. We can definitely see the high cold cloud tops. That's the cumulonimbus clouds being sheared off towards the north and east. That's the direction that the upper level wind shear is pushing towards as of right now. But tomorrow, it's expected to come more so from the west, bringing more overcast skies section of some central and eastern parishes for sure. And sometimes these upper level clouds being sheared off can pack some light rainfall, if not bringing some overcast skies. So that's definitely going to be in the forecast for Tuesday. And if we take a look at both rainfall maps from the Euro and the GFS models, we can see that both of them are in agreement that are at around 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 5 a.m. Jamaica time. We still are going to be getting some rainfall across northern parishes, sections of St. Mary, Portland for sure. The Euro model confirms that. The GFS trying to incorporate other parishes like coastal areas of St. Anne, Trelawney, maybe St. James, Trelawney, maybe even Western Westmoreland. But I'm more inclined to believe what both maps are showing. And for the most part, we see that most of the rain should be out to sea right here. Maybe even sections of Eastern Jamaica, maybe Eastern St. Thomas, getting in on some of the rainfall. Then by afternoon now, this is valid for 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 2 p.m. Jamaica time. And we see the rainfall Still out to sea on the GFS. Euro has most of the rainfall closer to land, but we also see that central and western Jamaica gonna be getting in for some of that afternoon rainfall for sure. Anywhere from St. Andrew westward on the GFS, St. Catherine, Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, Southern St. James, Southern Trelawney, Southwestern St. Anne. Euro trying to show most parishes getting in on some amount of rainfall. We'll see how that unfolds. We'll see which one of the models win. This is why we have to use both of them to see what actually is going to be taking place in terms of the consensus. And as for right now, the rainfall is for a section of central and western parishes. And even the accumulated precipitation forecast maps are in consensus for the central and western Jamaica rainfall in the greens, yellows, and slight oranges are representing from 0.2 all the way up to 0.75 for an inch of rainfall. And we see that the most rainfall should be across the waters to the north of the island in the red, up to at least an inch of rainfall out there, maybe even brushing coastal areas of some northern parishes. And we're indeed grateful for the rainfall. In the month of October, across the island, we usually receive the most rainfall across the island in general. In Kingston, whose bar graph is being shown right here at the top, we usually receive up to 170 millimeters of rainfall. That's almost 7 inches of rainfall. In Montego Bay, whose bar graph is being shown right here at the bottom, we usually receive up to 8.5 inches of rainfall. That's about 212 millimeters of rainfall. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to find out what your specific parish receives in terms of rainfall throughout the year from January to December, you can visit weatherandclimate.com, where they'll give you that information. And you can use this nice little graphic right here that converts rainfall that we know is measured on the rain gauge from inches to millimeters. We know that 1 inch of rainfall is about the same as 25 millimeters of rainfall. So you can do the calculations yourself. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So as stated, we still have the clouds associated with that frontal system to the north of the eastern Caribbean, to the north of Puerto Rico, some of Puerto Rico getting in on the action, the Dominican Republic, Haiti, Cuba, the Cayman Islands, section of Central America getting in on the mix, some thunderstorms into portions of Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama as usual, section of Colombia, Venezuela getting in on some thunderstorms too, the waters to the east of the Caribbean with the tropical wave, the waters of the main development region with another tropical wave. And if we take a look at the Doppler radar images of the northeastern Caribbean, let us see what's happening out there before we look at what was taking place today. As of right now, not much taking place across St. Martin, St. Kitts and Nevis, Antigua and Barbuda. But definitely some rainfall, isolated shores around the US Virgin Islands and around the British Virgin Islands, but nothing too serious. We can make out some isolated shores across eastern Puerto Rico, some rainfall across western Puerto Rico, some heavy rainfall to the north of Puerto Rico, and some isolated shores to the east of Guadeloupe. And if we load these images from earlier today, we can see what was taking place. We definitely had some rainfall across portions of the Dominican Republic, to the south of Puerto Rico, to the north of Puerto Rico, heading into portion of Dominica as well. And if we take a look at the latest Barbados radar and zooming out, we can make out that rainfall still affecting portion of Dominica right now, some isolated shores coming in from the east. We can make out some rainfall that affected portion of Martinique. Not seeing much rainfall across St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines or Grenada right now. Not to mention Barbados, definitely in the clear as we speak. But we do see some isolated shores right there. Well, from earlier to the south of Tobago, nothing affecting Trinidad right now. Maybe some isolated shores earlier today as well. We do see a little rain band right there to the far east of Trinidad and Tobago right now. If we take a look at the wider view of Doppler radar images, we can make out some rainfall right there across the Yucatan Peninsula, northern Guatemala, Belize, section of Honduras, section of Nicaragua. We can also scroll down and see some isolated shores across portions of Colombia, northern or northwestern Venezuela. We can also make out that rainfall across portions of Florida pushing in from west to east, too, associated with that frontal system. And regarding where the rainfall is expected within the next 24 hours, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on a Tuesday. And we can see all of the greens, the yellows, the oranges, the reds represent anywhere from 0.2 all the way up to close to an inch of rainfall in the red for sections of Puerto Rico, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Cuba, section of especially northern Jamaica and waters to the north of there, the Cayman Islands, section of the Yucatan Peninsula, Belize, section of Guatemala, Honduras, especially eastern Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, and look at that, even both the Euro and the GFS are in consensus with all of those areas listed. So too, section of Colombia, western Venezuela getting in on the mix as well. But look at that, not much rainfall for eastern Venezuela. We see more whites than anything else that represent little to no rainfall at all. Section of Guyana, Suriname, French Guiana definitely in the clear. So too Trinidad and Tobago, so they're gonna be in for some fair weather tomorrow. And we start to get back in on some of the rainfall as we head northward. Section of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Barbados. Section of St. Lucia, Martinique, Dominica, Guadeloupe, Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Martin, St. Kitts and Nevis, Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, right there, the US and British Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico for sure. And we see that both the Euro and the GFS malls are in consensus with this forecast. I know that when they're in consensus like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.